Hi, Richard. Big news. Big news.
Oh, Colin, I'm so upset.
Are you really?
I am. You're not.
Um, I'm still in absorbing this mode
Are you
with
surprised?
George Pickens. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised at the timing. I'm surprised this didn't happen before the draft.
You would have thought it would have, especially when Jerry Jones actually alluded to something big, right? And I expected. I'm going to tell you, I, for a third round pick,
Third and a fifth round pick, right?
I mean that's it. Send me a quarterback. Send something.
Does
Don't.
this say that the Steelers are just going into the season with
Yes, a
Mason
rebuild.
Rudolph?
Yes, and a rebuild.
Okay, then if it's a rebuild,
Yeah,
do you just wash your hands of TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick and tear it all the way down?
I would have. I would have if that's the mindset. I would have definitely done that. But it might not be the mindset. It might be these are the people that give us the best opportunity to win. And there's nothing coming back from Dallas that's going to give them the opportunity to win today. Nothing.
They'll have a lot of picks next year. So you think that if Aaron Rodgers isn't coming, and I don't know that to be the case, but even if he is, so what? You still have all those picks. It feels like they're stockpiling those picks to potentially get a quarterback next year. They want essentially the next Ben next year. And that's they're gonna try to do. Draft that big quarterback, that
So
franchise changing quarterback.
play that out a little bit,
Yeah.
right? So let's say that's the actual plan. Think about that. They have all these draft picks.
Yes.
Next year's draft, they want to find their new quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The draft is in Pittsburgh, PA.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? I almost forgot about that dynamic too. The guy better be good. Well, you don't know that in the moment. So they're going to have all the hype. They're going to have all the excitement. They're going to walk that new draft pick across the stage. They're going to own the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, they will. They will. And so next year is going to be great. But man, I'm just, I don't know. We said we wanted a second receiver. And so we pay this other guy all this money and we get rid of receiver number one. I mean, I don't know.
Well, here's the bottom line for me. It shows exactly how much of a problem George Pickens has to be off the field. You know, I don't know any other way about it. Like Pickens, Martavis Bryant, Chase Claypool, three guys in a row that you think that were ultra talented, but they just have to be even bigger problems than we see with our eyes for them to shuttle them off so quickly.
Well, you can go back even another one, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, to some degree, right?
Yeah. So what do you do? I mean, do we make more of it than anybody else does? I mean,
no. You go into the season and you say if you win anything, it's a bonus, but you're almost in rebuild, reboot, tank mode.
But how does a team like Dallas? We have no time for George Pickens. We say too much trouble, too much work, problem, blah blah blah. But then he goes to Dallas and he's going to be a star. Because why? Because
I don't know if he will be.
Because oh yeah, he's going to be. He's going to be because they're put him in a position to maximize what his talents are. He can catch a football, and he can run the football after he catches the football. And is he a problem? Is he temperamental? I mean, of course. So what?
Would you have kept him?
Hell yes.
You would have. Oh, that's interesting.
Hell yes. I would have had both of those receivers, which I thought was the plan. Hell yes. Hell yes, I would have kept them. You cover both those guys? I don't think
so. No, I get it. That's an immediacy thing. Okay, here's where I am. Now this is now there's no more debate on if you'll keep him or not. Right. He's gone. Now you get into you can't do things halfway. You got to look to trade TJ Watt now.
That'll never happen.
But I know it won't. But again, you can't live in both worlds in professional sports. You either have to go for it
Yeah,
or
but dude,
knock it all the way down.
you're left with if you trade TJ Watt. I mean, you're
So
left.
what?
So I love so I love our draft picks. I do.
Yeah.
I even like Will Howard a lot. And I know you're not
No,
all
I'm okay with him. I think he's a backup that potentially might grow into a starter. Who knows?
I'm absolutely not comfortable with Mason Rudolph.
I know
Not,
that.
not even a little bit. I'm absolutely not comfortable with Aaron Rodgers. And I think it's a joke that here we are, spring rookie camp opens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have a quarterback.
Okay, well then let me ask you this. Then okay, this is a good point then. If you're in total rebuild mode, reboot mode, why don't you go into the season if you're the GM or the coach? It would make more sense to go into the season and start Will Howard and see what he had.
I think that would depend on training camp, but and that's not a bad idea, but I don't think anybody would ever concede a season and actually say we are in rebuild mode.
But what's the concession? You took him. You said all these nice things about him.
By conceding the year. I mean,
But,
I don't think anybody would do that.
but again, what's the concession? If I'm saying you're making a decision because you think he's every bit as good as Mason Rudolph.
Oh, 100%. And he knows how to win.
Right.
Mason Rudolph hasn't won anything.
So again, that's the thing.
But I would never come out and say publicly, hey, you know what, we're in rebuild mode, so bear with us till next year.
Is it a rebuild though?
Well,
if you start Will Howard?
I don't know if it's a rebuild if you start Will Howard. That label bothers me because I would never, ever, as a leader, as a coach, I would never say, well, we're not going to try as hard this year because we're going to be in rebuild mode. I can't see that. But I would be willing to take more chances.
Perfect. That's where I am with you. And my big chance would be, I think TJ Watt's a spectacular player. I think he's one of the best in the game. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd see what I could get draft pick wise for him and really go big and go in.
But again, back to draft picks, right? You wouldn't want to try and see what you could get in an immediacy quarterback as of right now.
No, because
Lawrence wouldn't float your boat.
No, because it seems glaringly obvious that they're going to try to draft a quarterback next year. That career-changing quarterback, the first-round quarterback. Use some of those later-round picks to trade up if they need be, and get into the top 10 and do something like that.
I don't get it. I really don't. But does it bother you that Aaron Rodgers is still even in the conversation?
If he is, what if he's not? What if he really isn't? What if he hasn't been for a month?
I don't. That's great. We should quit talking about it.
Right.
We should put that to rest.
Whenever this is one time I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to bury them either. What if the front office all the time says that's noise that the media talks about? That's what they say. And it's actually true this time. Like,
which part? Is he
the media making a bigger story of Aaron Rodgers than what it really is with the Steelers?
Well, your media. I mean, that's you. That's what you do.
Right.
But that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying if the Steelers say that.
I know, but is that what the Steelers are saying?
All the media keeps linking the Steelers to Aaron Rodgers, Steelers to Aaron Rodgers. But what if internally they've forgotten about that a month ago?
I'd like to see them say that.
Yeah, they should. It was their fault they didn't either put it to bed or put him on notice that you need to make a decision like this week when he came to the facility. It's the Steelers' fault 100% that they and you called this, that they let Aaron Rodgers dictate the timeline because now they look terrible.
I don't like it. I really don't. The one thing about Mike Tomlin is he does, you can tell even in his approach to Aaron Rodgers, he respects the guy a lot to be respected. I mean, obviously accomplished, and Mike respects that because Mike is one professional to another. So I think that there's probably interest still, and I do believe that I do believe that Mike believes that Aaron Rodgers could be a difference maker for us for 1 year.
Wow. I just can't believe you think George Pickens is a slam dunk playing very well in Dallas.
100,000,000%. We
I
did
think
not give him the opportunity here. We did not, part of success in anything, whether it's business or football or baseball, is putting people in a position to win. And if you don't put a guy like that and take the talents he has and match them with the talents we have, there's no win. How do you do that? Same thing with Russell Wilson and Aaron Smith. They were a mismatch. I mean, they were a mismatch. I mean, if you talk to Russell Wilson, I mean, he'll tell you he couldn't call his own plays. He couldn't check down. He couldn't do those things.
Yeah, Arthur Smith was handcuffing him the whole time.
And so that's what he'll say. Now, what would Arthur Smith say? Arthur Smith would say the guy just didn't have the talent. That's what Arthur Smith would say.
I'll say this. They'll go into this season with the worst roster Mike Tomlin's ever had.
I'd have to take your word for that because I don't know that.
Think about it, even just in recent past.
Positionally, you got a quarterback room with nobody.
I mean, and if you have a quarterback room with nobody, that's a good head start to having the worst roster you've had. I mean, because they're in a world of trouble, man. And it started with overtaking Kenny Pickett. They overdrafted.
See, I still go back to that also. I don't.
You think he got a raw deal, which is hilarious.
I do. I think Kenny Pickett's better than what he played to.
He may be, but it was just a tactical error from a draft standpoint.
That's hindsight. It wasn't though, because I don't know. I don't know that it was a tactical error. I think when Kenny asked to be traded, I think that threw everything out of kilter. So I guess ultimately, you look back and it can be a tactical error because that's what it looks like now. But who knew that? I would rather have Kenny Pickett than Mason Rudolph.
I'd agree to that, but I don't think
Mason Rudolph, when he was here, was absolutely not an impact player. He was okay. I'll say it. He was nothing.
The most famous thing Mason Rudolph did in Pittsburgh,
hit in the head with his helmet.
It was get a ride in that cart with his face mask unscrewed. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And so so that's the level. And then we start becoming enamored. Well, Mason Rudolph can throw the long ball. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Russell Wilson can throw the long ball. And he did that for a couple times. But he's still Mason Rudolph. He still has and like I said, I saw pictures of him recently. The guy's really he's really working out. He looks great. And but you know what you said to me when I told you that?
What's that?
What did you say?
That Russell Wilson looks great?
No, that I told you about Mason Rudolph being like really into the physicality and really working out. What'd you say?
So what?
That is what you said.
Yeah, I mean, so what? The kid who cuts my grass works hard too.
That's great.
I mean, hey, I have a question for you on a tangent.
Go ahead, tangential. What?
Did you go to the F-150 plant?
Yes, sir, Bob.
I've always wanted to go there. I've got to figure out a time.
You figure it out. We'll make it.
You know why? Because I read that they do the Raptors there to custom, and that they get these orders on this computer screen, and every one of them is different, whatever. And they turn out like one F-150 like every 90 seconds. But the Raptor portion of it astounds me in how like no two Raptors are like pretty much the same. Everybody has different custom stuff they want, and they roll off the line that way.
I can't speak to the custom part. I can tell you they produce a new F-150 every 53 seconds.
53 seconds. I thought it was 90 seconds. Oh my gosh.
Every 53, one rolls off the line. There's a lot of pride in that plant. You'll see a lot of things coming from us in the next 7 days, I believe. But you'll see a lot, and you'll see some great things and some great surprises. we have a big message coming out, and
Awesome.
yeah, it's really cool. Thanks for calling attention to that.
Well, when I'm in Michigan, I'm going to let you know, not this time for the car race, but sometime I'm going to take my son. I want to go. I want to look at that. If you could set that up,
we can do that. He'll love it.
Because
really cool.
I heard that the Raptors, the way that they do them though is like everybody has different orders, like because you have different choices to make on the Raptors, and like this one is for like John Smith, this one is for like Dave Jones, whatever, and they look at your order and they customize it right on the line, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know that. I didn't really talk about that, but yeah, it's just breathtaking. I'll send you some pictures personally, because they'll be pre-release everything else that's coming out. So I'll just send you a couple so you can see. It's absolutely powerful.
Did they have a cowboy hat, hard hat for you there?
No.
Or do you have to wear like a regular hard hat?
I didn't wear a hard hat.
Oh, do they have like a golf cart for you?
Will you stop?
No, I mean, you're big time there. You're like on the board.
It's okay.
Hey, you know where I went the other day?
I'm afraid to ask.
No, you're not.
Go ahead. Where?
Nancy B's.
Oh, we just talked about that. We haven't been there for a while.
Listen, I don't eat a whole lot of sweets, Richard. You know me, right? Like I keep my diet really good. I'll say this. I'll contend this. I think it could be the best cookie in the world. Not just in America. Have you ever eaten a better one?
No, I really haven't. No, I really haven't.
I don't know if it's the best in the world or not, but I haven't tasted one better.
I think if we did taste every cookie in the world, we'd both be pretty big by now. But
it's
no,
fascinating.
Michael is just amazing. First of all, he's amazing. He lives in honor of his mother, Nancy B. And he's just a great guy with a great product, and his success is really no accident. He's there making cookies every morning at 3 a.m.
It's a testament to sometimes you don't have
a day.
What's that?
300 dozen cookies a day they produce.
Well, and it's a testament to sometimes simple is better. You don't have to put 9 million different like if you do one thing or a couple of things really good, that's all you got to do.
I think that should be a mantra. I agree.
It is.
Agree. Yeah. So we're lucky. He's also a good friend, and we should probably get some cookies.
Yes. Well, that's your neighborhood. Don't look at the girls. You own Munhall. You're the king. So,
okay. So I'm going to go. Let me. I want to say this. Last week, we do annual scholarships for Steel Valley.
Oh yeah, yes, Steel Valley.
Okay, so that's where I went to high school. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. I'll have to talk about that. We gave away scholarships last week, 19, 20, whatever it is, and I'm leaving the event, and I've said I have this being here tonight really gives me a very different feeling. And here's the feeling it gives me. When I'm there and I talk to the people that I seem to know, so many of them, I know the kids because I went to school with their parents or their parents' parents. Maybe the people I went to school with or their grandfather or their father. And I talked, and they're still living in that community. They're still part of the community. And what I thought is the feeling that created in me that is, these are the people, this is ground zero. I mean, these people, everything's different. They have different values. They have different, they're real. They're no BS. They're just real people in a real community, and they create that real community. And that's really a great thing to see and feel. I love it. Absolutely.
If you get off social media and you stop watching the news for a little bit, that's what life is really like.
It's really true. It's a really good point.
That's really what it is. Like that's the real fabric and fiber of America. It's not somebody taking Instagram pictures and making duck lips and like, Oh, no, that's what life is.
Yep.
And we get skewed by social media so much that either life is great or life is terrible.
And sometimes I forget about that. And so about that impact of social media. Because here I am, I want to grow. I want to go bigger, 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 bigger. I want more followers, more bigger platform, more frequency. I want all that, right? Then you go, yeah, wow. I'm part of it. I'm part of the problem. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop either, by the way.
Right.
But it's a reality check. It really is. It's humbling, if you can imagine me saying that. It's humbling.
Well, that's good.
Yes. So thanks for bringing that up.
Surely. All right.
Okay. I love
Well,
you as usual.
I will talk to you soon.